Hey guys, so first things first, before anybody comes for my lips, I tried the Too Faced, what is it, lip injection, lip gloss again today, and it got a little out of control. So today I have swatches of the KBShimmer Just Add Water collection. This is their summer collection for this year. There are 8 polishes here altogether. These are available right now, so I will link the KBShimmer website down below where you guys can check these out, and I'll get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Let It Slide, and this is described as a yellow-green neon base with copper shimmer. This one is definitely sheer on the first coat, but it has a very strong shimmer. And while the base is sheer, it actually applies very evenly with just very minimal streaks. It built up pretty well on the second coat, but I could still see a good amount of my nail line, so I did add a third. I do also feel like the streaks stood out a little bit better after I had the color built up on that second coat. It covers okay on the third coat, but it wasn't completely covered. And this is a kind of a hard style of polish to balance because you want it bright and light and yellow, but still be able to see that shimmer through really well. So after that third coat, I had some minimal streaks, a little bit of nail line showing, and that yellow color was built up really nicely. I think this is just a polish that you have to be really slow and precise with. I wore it 3 times over the course of this review, and sometimes it turned out better than others. It just really depended on how much time I was taking with it. So that is 3 coats of Let It Slide. The next polish is called Flip Out, and this is described as a coral leaning orange crelly with shifting shimmer that shifts from gold to peach. This polish really seems to change color depending on what lighting you're in. I'm in very low light now, and I'm looking at it on my desk, and it looks very, very orange, but in these lights that I filmed in, even in person, it looked very, very pink. This one came off sheer on that first coat, but the shimmer in this is insane, and it did build up really well on the second coat. After that second coat, there was still a little bit of nail line showing, so I did add a third coat just to kind of see what the polish could do. There was still a little bit of nail line showing even on that third coat, but it was the kind of thing where you really have to look at it and you have to see it in the right light to notice it, so I'm not worried about it. So that is 3 coats of Flip Out. The next polish is called Dive On In, and this is described as a cool blue with a shimmer that shifts from peach to lime. This is another one with an insane shimmer. It is a little bit sheer on the first coat and a little bit streaky. The shimmer that's in here does make it kind of hard to pick those streaks out though. It covered really well for me on the second coat. I did have a little bit of nail line showing, but it wasn't enough for me to feel like I needed to take the time to add a third coat. You might want one, it's just going to depend on your preference, but I was good in 2. So that is 2 coats of Dive On In. The next polish is called Meltdown, and this is described as a vibrant fuchsia with a shimmer that shifts between aqua, mint, and violet. Also a little bit sheer on the first coat. They're all going to be because you really need that shimmer to stand out. The shimmer is good in this one, but it doesn't have that kind of like blinding, popping contrast that the gold to green to peachy shimmers kind of have. And since I haven't mentioned it yet, all the polishes in this collection have a very good formula as well. This also covered well for me on the second coat. Similar to the last polish, I had the tiniest bit of nail line showing, but it really wasn't enough for me to feel like I needed to add a third coat. That's going to depend on your preference. You might want a third, just depending on the person. I was good in 2. So that is 2 coats of Meltdown. The next polish is called Splash Talking, and this is described as an ultramarine blue polish with a color shifting shimmer that shifts from blue to purple to pink. And that is a very simplified version of the description of this polish on the website. So this was pretty sheer on the first coat. The shimmer looks really good in this one though. It was even still a bit sheer on that second coat, so I felt like it needed 3. On the third coat, it did cover pretty well. I had some minor nail line showing. It was kind of the same amount of nail line that I had in 2 coats of the last 2 polishes. Definitely hard to pick out. You really have to look for it, but it was still there. So that is 3 coats of Splash Talking. The next polish is called Rock the Float, and this is described as a hot pink polish with shifting shimmer that shifts from gold to peach. This is the one. The shimmer in this is so good. The coverage on this one is really good on the first coat, even just from the shimmer. Well, maybe not like really good, but compared to everything else in the collection, really good, and it's mostly just from the shimmer. This also covered completely for me in 2 coats. I feel like if I had really stuck it under a microscope, I might have been able to see some nail line, but that's getting excessive, so I wasn't worried about it. 2 coats and I was good. Actually, looking at this footage, I do still see a little bit of nail line, but I couldn't see that in person at all. Those things always tend to be a little more obvious on camera. So that is 2 coats of Rock the Float. The next polish is called my Fla-vor-ite Color, and this is described as a grape with a shimmer that shifts from purple to pink to blue. Also a little bit sheer on the first coat. The shimmer that's in this is that more blendy shimmer, so it's a little bit closer to the base color. It doesn't contrast quite as much. It's definitely there. It's not like it's hidden or anything, but it doesn't like blow out of the polish like some of the other polishes in the collection. It's just a little bit different of a look. Also, without the shimmer contrasting quite as much, it doesn't lend as much coverage as some of the more contrasting shimmers do. But despite it being a little bit more sheer on the first coat, it did build up really well in 2 coats for me. I think this could be a borderline 3-coat polish, but it just wasn't quite there for me. So that is 2 coats of my Fla-vor-ite Color. So the next polish is called Kinda Shady, and this is described as a deep black base with a vibrant blue shimmer. And reading the website, this is actually supposed to look like blue mirrored sunglasses lenses. So kind of a different polish from the rest of the collection, but after reading the description on the website, that makes sense now. Very good coverage on the first coat. It's a much darker color, so that does make sense. That deep kind of blue violet shimmer that's in there, or pigment that's in there, covers really well. And obviously this covered very easily in 2 coats. Okay, so no surprise here that Rock the Float is gonna be my favorite. You guys know I love pink and gold shimmer. I was really excited about this as soon as I saw it in the bottle. When I went to Polish and Beauty Expo this year with my friends Amy and Amanda, I'll link their channels down below. This was the one that I told everyone that they had to buy, even though I hadn't actually swatched it yet. I just saw it in the bottle and knew that it was gonna be like the one. But then also Flip Out was a surprise favorite for me. I know that the KBShimmer website describes this as coral. I'm looking at it now with that in my head and like, yeah, I can see coral, but at first I just saw this as like a more neon pink. It's very obviously coral, and now that I have that description, like it's clear, but first impressions, this is a very neon pink. I ended up liking this one on my nails a lot more than I thought I would have just from looking at it in the bottle, so 2 favorites here. So that is the KBShimmer Just Add Water collection for summer 2022. Again, I will link that website down below where you guys can check those out. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.